Welcome to Paris in the 1700s, a city where elegance danced on the edge of a blade.
Above the filth, the Enlightenment reached for the heavens, building monuments to logic and art. But in the shadows of the great cathedral, the streets remained medieval, narrow, dark, and dangerous. The stench was overwhelming. Raw sewage and industrial waste turned the beautiful Seine into a flowing grave. At the Hôtel d'Essen, Catherine de' Medici's tower stood as a silent observer of the stars and the secrets they held.
Nearby, the market of Les Halles was a sensory nightmare of rotting produce and the desperate hunger of the poor. A fortress within the city, exempt. This was the temple, a fortress within the city, exempt from the king's law and the city's taxes. Inside these walls, craftsmen found a sanctuary. Every February, the Foire Saint-Germain became a temporary palace of consumption for all social classes.
The city was a playground. Their private keys were kept clean by a small army of servants.
A world of gold living on the back of a world of mud.
12 miles from the chaos of Paris lay the center of the world, Versailles.
Louis XIV had turned a hunting lodge into a gilded cage for the French aristocracy. Inside, 700 rooms echoed with the whispers of power and the competition for royal favor. Even nature was forced to obey the king's command, sculpted into perfect, unyielding geometry. But this extravagance was built on a foundation of crushing taxes and public suffering. While the court played, science progressed. The observatory made France the center of the stars. Find the maps of the world, long before the world looked to Greenwich.
For those who bled for the king, Les Invalides offered a home, a monument to military honor.
4,000 veterans lived under military discipline, away from the filth of the central city.
But the winter of 1788 brought a crisis. Poor harvests and bankrupt treasuries pushed Paris to the brink. Bread prices soared. For the commoner, the choice was simple: revolt or starve.
In May 1789, the king summoned the Estates General. He wanted money. The people wanted power.
July 13th. Rumors of hoarded grain led an angry mob to the gates of Saint-Lazare.
The next morning, the target was clear: the Bastille, a fortress of stone and a symbol of tyranny.
It was a prison where the king could bury anyone without a trial. Today, the people would bury the prison.
For 4 hours, the air was thick with lead and the screams of nearly
The chains snapped. The drawbridge fell. The gate to a new world was open.
Only 7 prisoners were found inside, but their liberation shook the foundations of every throne in Europe.
Governor Delaunay was dead. The revolution had found its taste for blood. The revolution had found its taste for blood.
In his diary at Versailles, the king wrote, "Nothing happened." He could not have been more wrong.
By November, the Bastille was gone. Not just the building, but the era it represented.
From the mud of Paris rose the words: liberty, equality, fraternity. The world would never be the same.